Humans are foolish and frail creatures, undeserving of the attention of one like myself. The most fascinating thing about them is the fact that they have not yet died off as a species. And yet, this tale of bravery and stupidity is, in my estimation, one of the finer stories told. This group is worthy of notice, and in spite of my contempt for their sheer stupidity, they also keep me unable to turn away. Our gaze shifts to the town of Winlaven, one known as a peaceful place for a man to live out his days. It was into this town that Loen Stalric walked, leading a cart being pulled by a horse. He wore a leather tunic, a sword at his side. A beard was growing on his face. He looked tired, but happy. At the door of a small tavern, he stopped his cart. As he tied his horse to a post, the door of the inn opened, revealing a large man with a broad grin. He enveloped Loen in a hug tight enough to break bones.
Good to see you, Loen. I feared you would not be so fortunate as to make it on this day.
Greetings to you, Leofrin. What would make you so fearful for my safety?
Leofrin was unusually anxious as he motioned for Loen to set aside. The mere fact that someone as large and intimidating as Leofrin was concerned set Loen on edge.
Walk with me.
The two men walked together up the steps to the large wooden door. Loen opened it for Leofrin, and the two entered. As is often the case in stories, our hero enters a bar to learn of an unfolding problem. This bar was quiet, though. Only a few occupants were in the room. Loen nodded hello to Dorian, a fellow farmer. Leofrin led him to the bar and seated him, pouring out 2 mugs of ale.
Much has changed in a few weeks, Loen. But most important, old Waylen has gone missing.
What? How?
Not many noticed, but the man missed his weekly appearance at the chapel, and one of the good women paid him a visit. He is gone.
Waylen has made excursions before, even around this time of year. I wouldn't be surprised to know that he yet again found himself hopelessly smitten with a noblewoman and is attempting to court her.
You would not be so sure if you saw his house. The dwelling was bare of all belongings, as though no one had ever lived there.
When was Waylen last seen?
2 weeks ago now. I would have informed you sooner, but I wish to give you time to mourn. We all miss Alea.
The loss of a loved one is a pain that never dissipates. The loss eats away at oneself, slowly killing through despair. Loen twisted a discoloured band upon his finger, sorrow evident on his face.
Bless the children. They've given me time to grieve. My eldest daughter, Mara, has kept the younger ones in check. I've just thrown myself into work, but coming home every night to see that empty seat, it's enough to make a man mad.
Loen had had enough reminiscing on loss. His wife was gone, and he did not wish to dwell upon it for long. He could not drown the pain in drink, and he could not forget through sleep. Everywhere the dead face of his wife stared back at him. He pushed his chair back hurriedly, and tossed 2 small coins on the table.
I have wares to sell and my children to return to. I told them I would be home as soon as I could. Mara is attempting her mother's specialty, and I aim to be there.
May your return be as safe as your arrival, my friend.
Upon leaving the bar, Loen stared across the town square. Few people walked the town, and most houses were barred.
Loen, you buffoon, what brings you about?
Mareli, your clever tongue brings you no goodwill from me. If buffoon is the finest insult you can work around telling me, well, I'm afraid my price is as high as ever.
Good woman Mareli glared at Loen in a teasing manner, but it turned into a smile as her hand fell on his shoulder.
If I call you an ignominious rabble-rouser, does that get me any goodwill?
That exceeds my lowly vocabulary, and I acknowledge defeat. 5 pence off most items in the cart.
Mareli smiled and began to look through the cart, pulling out different foods and setting aside a few things she wished to buy. Loen watched quietly, a slight smile on his face. Mareli and her husband had known Loen and his late wife for several years. Mareli was well respected for her quick wit and hard bargain, but when Loen began selling his wares, she readily admitted to meeting her match. Their haggling was good-natured, even more so with the recent passing of Alea.
How are the wee ones?
Mattis and Waylen are not quite so good at accepting the truth, but Mara understands too well. She doesn't smile much anymore. The boys try to hide their sorrow, but I've seen the red eyes and tears. They keep up a brave face, but they hurt, and they will not speak of it.
You don't need to stand away from us, Loen. My husband Ezra and I could bring you meals and visit.
I am out of my depth, good woman, and I am in your debt. But I must think of my own. Who can my children rely on if I cannot keep us together? I do not wish to become reliant on another person to help me. My family must be strong together.
They don't need to know that you're perfect, Loen. They just need to know that you're all together. If you need someone to help make that true, no one thinks any less of you.
My many thanks, Mareli. I will think of what you offer.
Loen looked over Mareli's selection. He noted a hunk of mutton she had set aside, almost imperceptible from its abode behind a sack of flour. He removed it and shook it at her good-naturedly.
Full price for these.
Loen, if I pay that price for every measly portion of mutton sold to me, I'd have starved many years ago.
I'll barely afford food for my animals, even at my current price.
I will go up 5 pence between the two.
I'll not take less than 8 pence between the two. Offer me lower, and I will take my business to Lady Stelcombe.
I suppose I can make do with 8 pence extra. I'll not be so keen to do business with you next time. You're quite a racketeer, Loen Stalric.
And you are keen to eat me out of house and home, Mareli.
I know a good bargain, do I not?
As though a spell had been broken, other townspeople began to wander toward Loen and strike up conversation. He smiled. Mareli and her family were a blessing that he could never have deserved. She could bring out conversation from the quiet and argument from the agreeable. He turned to another good woman, and the round of haggling began again. As a god among men, one would think we can see all that occurs, but our focus is more limited. Thus it was that on the same day that Loen sold wares in Windleven, unbeknownst to myself and others, a shadowy figure walked up the steps to the nobleman's residence in the town of Polhaven. The large house was the only one of its kind in this town, and its keeper, Nobleman Garill, was determined to keep it that way. Up the steps and to the door, the figure's pace never slackened. A sharp rap on the door brought immediate response in the form of a young lad, bedecked in the finest lace a servant could wear.
Just past visiting hours, I'm afraid, sir.
In a moment, the cloaked figure had a knife in the servant's throat. Thus did life end for the poor lad.
Nobleman Garill will see me, I believe.
The lad coughed and choked. He fell backward, his head hitting the carpeted floor as blood pooled around him. Shroud stepped forward, stomping his boot on the servant's face. A hissing noise emanated from the lad's mouth, and the body began to dissipate, turning to curls of smoke and dust that flowed outside, into the night air. Shroud's silent walk led him through the twisting halls of Nobleman Garill's home. All was quiet, and for a moment, the creature pondered if the man had fled. Such a thought was dismissed. His master had sent him. The nobleman was here. His belief was proven as he entered Nobleman Garill's room. Garill stood by his desk waiting for the creature. His hand twitched toward a sword at his side, but he restrained it. Clearly barely in control of his bodily functions, he saluted the creature as it entered. "There was no need to kill the boy, Shroud. I had told him to let no one in unless they knew the code word I gave him."
I'm sure he was trustworthy, Garill, but my master takes no chances.
Shroud placed the blood-soaked knife on the nobleman's desk. He smiled as he relived the death of the boy again in memory. "Has the time come?"
You pay so little heed to rumors that you doubt. A host has been chosen. He is coming.
"I will not express sorrow for not believing every word that the wind tells me, Shroud. Why are you here? Why not send one of your servants?"
You've been talkative, fool.
I have been silent as the grave my master rests in. Shroud, my word is my bond.
I believe your mouth has been silent, human, but what of your mind? Another being has heard of my master's machinations, and you are the weak link, the most likely to have revealed the truth.
Garill clearly recognized the danger that he had exposed himself to. His hand slowly crept to his weapon. The creature noticed, but it did not matter. The man's fate was sealed, with or without his weapon. I swear by the sun that I have not dared reveal this.
I'm assured that you are faithful, and yet my master demands that I ensure it.
Garill knew it was hopeless to fight, therefore he did not. Instead, he charged past the creature and through the door. His fear gave him wings and he was outside the room ere the monster had fully retaken the weapon in his hand. The monster hissed, and its body dissipated into dust, flowing after the fleeing coward. Garill had made it down the last flight of stairs when the blade impaled him, now glowing a soft orange. The creature savagely twisted it into the man's gut. Garill choked on his blood, his eyes dulled, and then burst with an orange energy. His body faded from existence as though he had never been. In its place was a soft orange glow. The creature entered the glow and its eyes became blue, imitating the nobleman. Then its scarred and cracked hands became soft and pale, and its stooped form straightened. In moments the creature had assumed the nobleman's form. The glow dimmed and began to fade, but 6 words made it through.
Well done. Now, find the host.
Returning to the focus of our story, we revisit the man we had seen before. His thoughtful journey home, filled with not a few moments of sorrowful sighs, as he contemplated his late wife. Humans have a grand attachment to each other through familial ties in a way that a being like myself can never comprehend. Though I have brothers and sisters, we have no connection to each other. My closest ties are the celestial bodies in existence above this planet. As gods, we are lonely, but never truly understand nor feel loneliness. This is our nature. Loen had continued his leisurely stroll homeward until at last a small cottage came into view, a thatched roof slightly canted to one side through age, a small stable connected. It was a pitiful sight that I shudder to look upon. Upon reflection of my last sentence, one might believe the cottage unseemly, but it was not. There was a feeling of peace when one laid his eyes upon it. Flowers dotted the hillside, growing so plenteously that Loen had once jested that he would have no grass for his livestock. A small well rested at the centre of the clearing, now more for decoration than any true purpose. Loen had dug it years ago, but the course of time and rain had formed a stream of water that ran nearby. A small orchard grew a short distance away, teeming with life as birds flew to and fro. Green and red apples littered the ground and filled the trees. Against the well a young lad, Mattis, rested, reading a book. His eyes lighted upon Loen and he smiled. Carefully resting his book on the edge of the well and tucking the corner of the page to ensure its spot, he ran towards the returning merchant.
Father, Mara, Waylen, Loen is home.
Careful, lad, you'll break bones one of these days.
While the father and son exchanged pleasantries, another young man, Waylen, stepped out from his place in the orchard. A basket full of apples was in his hand. He placed it down and walked towards his father, his eyes alight with excitement. The 2 lads were nearly identical, save for Waylen standing a full foot taller than Mattis. Waylen was much more reserved, giving his father a warm handshake. The door to the cottage opened, and a beautiful young girl walked out, a wooden spoon in her hand. When she saw Loen, she smiled, the lines of sorrow momentarily flitting away. She flew towards him, heedless of all else. Loen's breath caught, his daughter's slight form running towards him, reminding him of another woman who would come running to greet him every day he returned safe and sound. Mara wrapped her arms around Loen, and he caught her up. Giving her a peck on the cheek, he set her back down.
Supper is nearly ready, Father.
Boys, wash up and help your sister.
Oh, come on. Really?
As is the nature of most young men, the lads groaned with good humour. Though averse to cleaning, they hastened to the house to wash up and prepare for dinner.
What news in town, Father?
We'll talk later, Mara. Much has happened.
Do not hold back, Father. I know I am young, but I am doing what I can to help. I cannot help with what I do not know.
True. But Mara, I wish to prevent myself from spreading fear when it is uncalled for.
If it can make you fear, Father, then it is likely to be something we should know.
Mara, I will discuss it with the three of you this evening.
How is Mareli?
Stubborn as always.
And yet you never avoid conversation with her.
Loen smiled down at his daughter.
Go finish your dinner before you burn it again.
I was talking with my father. That is a worthwhile distraction.
I cannot disagree, and yet I value a full stomach as well as meaty conversation.
Mara laughed and turned to run back to the house. Her auburn locks truly did make her look so much like her mother. Loen closed his eyes, remembering what once was. It was a beautiful life. Slowly, deliberately, he walked to the old stable and unhitched the horse. Hefting a large sack of feed, he emptied it into the trough.
Thank you, my friend.
If only life could be so simple and sorrowful as what Loen experienced. But as with most gods, the Moonmaster's pride meant worse must take place. The focus of our story shifts to Polhaven, a beautiful town filled with cheer, as people began to bring out decorations befitting the Festival of Gods. Into the scene of beauty Euro walked. I know he can be dazzling in his majesty. And yet here he was not majestic, but murderous. Not a king, but a killer. A proud monster where piety was due. Euro's arrival caused quite a stir when one foolish drunk walked into him. Euro's rage as the contamination rose. His arm stretched out and a glowing blade severed the drunk's head from his shoulders. Cries of fear and terror rang out. His power had been seen. Raising his hands to the sky with righteous fury, he summoned death. Fire blossomed forward, engulfing the people. Screams of pain echoed shrilly through the streets. With something akin to the feeling of satisfaction, Euro moved forward to see the destruction. One can never have everything he wants, and this was made more obvious by the green light that had surged forward, covering the innocents. The War Master's handiwork. Legend, the War Master, made his presence known by materializing before Euro in a flash of lightning. Euro's anger grew, as he now had a target for his wrath. Legend, you never ceased to torment me.
Your sufferings are your own doing, Euro. These people do not deserve your foolish nature to pour out death on them.
I care little for your idiocy, Legend. These people are petty.
And you aren't?
No. I only kill those that annoy me, though you would be surprised how large the number gets.
Euro, you are a fool. You will cause your own undoing. I am aware of the number of people you kill, because I am left attempting to clean up your mess.
Legend, you have little power on this earth. Why are you so determined to hamper me? These people are meaningless.
These people are worth saving, fool. They have done nothing to incur your wrath.
Does it matter? We arrive on this earth and they call us their gods. They are fools, Legend, not I.
It matters, Euro. It matters because you and I are not gods. We are travelers. Your burden is that most worlds have humans that annoy you, and my burden is fixing your lunatic atrocities. But our burdens do not give us freedom to make others suffer.
Euro had had enough. He focused his energies on Legend, unleashing a far more powerful stream of fire. Though clearly unsinged, he staggered under the onslaught. Leave me, Legend, lest I tear you apart. If you interfere with me again tonight, I will go far enough that you will never be able to interfere again. In a straight fight, Legend would never have stood a chance. Not as he was now. He knew it too. Looking pained at his decision, he shook his head and disappeared in another flash of lightning. Although, legend did have a point. Not everyone needed to suffer for disobedience. Euro decided to start small, at the outskirts of town, on one small family that needed to learn the power of one such as himself. As Euro planned to ruin one man's life for foolish pride, Loen and his family ate dinner. It was a silent affair, but one look at the empty plates proved Mara to be an equal to her mother in cooking, if not surpassing her.
What news was in town today, Father? You said much had happened.
News, Father? Has Justin finally gained the courage to get a job?
No, that's too much to expect. Perhaps Lena has finally chosen a new suitor.
Nothing so simple. It seems Waylen has gone missing.
Missing? Is that common?
Not a standard disappearance. All of his belongings are missing.
Did he leave any note behind?
Nothing, I'm afraid. There was nothing. It was like he was never there. Right before I left the town, I spoke with Mayor Resdier, and he told me that he believes Fenra has gone missing in the same way. Her family says she hasn't returned from hunting. He also says he's heard of others.
Is anyone looking into it?
Most people are too afraid to look into it. They're afraid for themselves.
What about you?
I don't know. The people in the town are terrified. I've missed a lot lately, but I've never seen them scared like this.
What is the plan then? If no one will try and help, then what happens to us?
We will protect ourselves, Father. We will be safe.
Don't fear for us, Father.
I fear more if it is something I cannot stop. I am not ready to lose more of my family.
This is not a plague, Father. Not like Mother. I mourn her loss, but I will not lose you so easily. I will never give you up to anyone, so long as I have breath.
And we are all in good hands. Come, let's get you all to bed. Waylen, check the sheep. Mattis, help your sister.
Loen needed peace. He needed rest. He needed a chance to ponder. His children rapidly cleared away dishes. One by one, they made their way to their respective beds. Loen lit a pipe and considered his duty and his family. His eyes began to glaze as he felt himself nodding off. He rose and laid himself down in bed. When the morning came for his family, they could determine what the best course of action was. If only they lived to see it. A crack of thunder woke Loen from his sleep. He started awake. And so, even sleep does not ignore death. Loen had dreamed of his dead wife. But the nightmare hadn't ended with him waking. It had only begun. A trickle of water poured in through the roof near the door. Loen noted it with a scowl.
May the moon break you, Leofrin. You swore when you put in the roof it would last for a century.
Then Loen's eyes found the beds where his children slept. They were empty, all three of them.
Mara! Waylen! Mattis! Where are you?
The only sound to answer Loen was another crash of thunder. Loen, now fearful, snatched his sword from beside his bed and dashed out into the rain.
Mara?
Every human seems to think that calling a name will bring a loved one back from the dead. Thus began the torment of an innocent man. Euro made his appearance before Loen, showing the power and the glory he was so certain he possessed.
Where are my children, spirit?
I am not a spirit, petty human. I am your god. Worship me.
Give me my children back, foul creature.
Euro tended to be excitable, and these words, calling him a foul creature, had the unfortunate effect of forcing him to send a blast of lightning through Loen's chest. In a scream of agony, Loen fell forward, lifeless. Euro disdainfully walked forward and looked down at the impudent prick. Too easy a death, mortal. I grow sick to think of the horrible things done. All I can do now is distance myself from this version of me. This Euro that walked forward and healed Loen's wounds, bringing him back from death. ready to torment yet again. For your refusal to serve your god, Loen Stalric, I, Euro the Moonmaster, deem you worthy of losing all you hold dear. You have lost your wife, Elea Stalric, but now you will lose your children.
No, no! Leave my family out of this! They've done nothing! I've done nothing to you!
You've done nothing. Same as most humans in existence. That is precisely the problem.
Please! I've lost my wife! Do not take my children away from me too!
Supplication will do them no good, human. Euro disappeared from before Loen, who scrambled to find his sword. After floundering in the mud and the water, his hands closed on the hilt, and he took hold. Raising it above his head, his eyes darted in every direction, looking for movement. Then, the screams began.
Waylen! Where are you, son?
Dad! Something is...
Wayland's life was gone ere he finished the words, Euro's blade in his neck. Loen came upon the would-be god and watched the monster callously kick Wayland forward, to fall face down in the earth. Loen ran forward, heedless of Euro.
Waylen, breathe! Breathe, son! Live! Please!
Wayland was gone. His eyes were glassy. Loen knew this, and yet he could not leave his son. Euro stepped nearer. 1 down, 2 to go. Loen screamed in rage and whipped his sword forward to slash Euro, but the Moonmaster's body shimmered and faded, letting the sword pass through him. Euro then seized Loen's sword. Heat of unimaginable strength tore at Loen. His sword melted away, splashing on the ground and coating his feet. Screaming in pain, Loen stumbled back.
Father! Father!
Mara!
Heedless of the god that was tormenting him, Loen turned to hear his daughter and ran towards her without a second thought. Gone were the wishes for revenge, the thoughts of his lifeless son. All that mattered was saving those that remained. Entering a clearing in the orchard that had become a graveyard, Loen saw his worst fears. Mattis lay on the ground, his body contorted in an inhuman form. He did not breathe. He was already gone. Loen could hardly process the second death before Euro appeared. His glowing blade was held in one hand, while the other was wrapped around Mara's throat. Her face, already pale and strained with sorrow, was nearly purple as her remaining life was being snuffed out.
Let her go! I beg you, please! Take me! Bring them back!
Your contempt for your betters proves you are unworthy to even make that demand. I want you to learn from this, Loen. Maybe one day you can earn my kindness. But for now, call this a learning experience. With that, Euro drove his blade into Mara's heart.